Welcome to the Getting Through the Week podcast. Your host, Dr. KellyRae, is a renowned mindset coach and counselor, often referred to as the inner critic tamer. With a passion for guiding individuals through life's challenges, she specializes in personal growth and emotional healing. In each episode, Dr. KellyRae shares invaluable insights, practical strategies, and relatable stories designed to inspire you to take that first step toward positive change. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and get ready to dive deep into meaningful conversations that empower you on your journey. Let's welcome Dr.
Hey
KellyRae.
there, welcome back to the Getting to the Week podcast. I'm your host, Dr. KellyRae, and I'm so grateful that you're here. It seems a common phrase these days, or at least over the last 6 years, that the world sure is loud these days. Which I think many could agree with, but how much are we talking about that loudness that's hijacking your body? That's keeping us in a state of fight or flight, flee or freeze. Let's talk about that today. Let's talk about when the world feels loud. There are moments when the world shifts and you can feel it before you fully understand it. Thinking of things recently, thinking of 9/11 in the United States, how probably any of you that are listening to this episode, just hearing me mention that 9/11, you can almost instantly put yourself in a state of where you were that day, what was happening, almost in detail. The same is true when COVID hit. You remember certain specific details. You may not remember what you had for lunch every single day last week, because that's not something significant, right? That's not something that triggers something within you. But big moments like that. And we've been having continuous, seemingly, moments like that since COVID. The last 6 years have just kind of been a compilation of things that are breaking news and stay alert and trying to be very careful with my words here, politically driven. You know what I mean? Of course you know what I mean, because you've been living it too, just like me. And these moments, they shift us. They anchor something in us, which then brings us to how, without even being aware of it, a notification lights up on your phone. A headline scrolls across your screen. Or maybe there's that loud, intense sound, that reverberating sound that happens when you hear breaking news when that comes on your TV. Or someone says, "Did you see what's happening?" And before you even read the details or listen to what's going on, your body reacts. It tightens. Your shoulders lift. Your jaw clenches. Your breath shortens. That reaction, it's not political. It's neurological. Right now, there are major global tensions unfolding. Military movement as I'm recording this episode. Threats of escalation. Uncertainty layered on top of uncertainty. And whether you follow international affairs closely or avoid the news altogether, your nervous system still detects instability. The body registers tone before it registers facts. And in a world of constant breaking alerts, that matters. So today I want to talk about what happens inside your body when breaking news hijacks it. Because if you don't understand the mechanism, you'll think something's wrong with you. And nothing is wrong with you. Let's talk about what your brain predicts first. A study published in Nature Neuroscience confirms something powerful. Your brain predicts first and decides second. Let that land for a second. Your brain is constantly forecasting what will happen next, using past experiences to fill in the blanks. It doesn't wait for full information. It doesn't pause for nuance. It predicts. And when predictions feel threatening, your nervous system activates. Here's the part most people don't realize. Anxiety is often not about what is happening. It's about what your brain thinks might happen. When the world feels unstable, your brain starts forecasting worst-case scenarios. What if this escalates? What if we're not safe? Oh, what if this changes everything? And the body reacts to the forecast as if it's already reality. That's not weakness. That's survival wiring. I'll share a personal moment with you. There was a season of my life where uncertainty was constant. Not global uncertainty, personal. Financial strain, single motherhood, no backup plan. I remember when my phone would ring unexpectedly. My stomach would drop before I even answered. If I answered at all. Nothing had happened, but my brain had learned to predict that something might. And over time, that prediction alone was enough to activate my body. That's how powerful forecasting is. It shapes your physiology before reality even arrives. Now multiply that by a 24-hour news cycle. Researchers also talk about something called an error signal. When reality doesn't match what your brain predicted, the brain fires a signal. That signal feels like agitation, urgency, restlessness, anger. And in times of global instability, predictions skew negative. So every headline feels like confirmation. Every disagreement feels bigger. Every opinion feels threatening. We stop responding. And we start reacting. And the speed of information doesn't give your nervous system time to recalibrate. Think about it for a second. It wasn't that long ago before social media and the internet really took off that we had newspapers to gain information, which were they are all past events that they're reporting on that now you're reading. So they've already gone past. Also, we had news outlets that only did the news maybe in the morning, afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, and then the 11 o'clock news at night. So picture 3 times a day, a little hour blip of news, right? So 3 hours out of a 24-hour time period. You had time in between that to to absorb the information, process the information, decide what you were going to do with the information. Fast forward to now social media and internet access around the world. So we not only have news sources that are competing with individuals like you and I that are on the internet sharing and posting and theorizing and deciding that what I'm sharing and you're sharing is absolute truth and belief. And then our friends are seeing that and saying, well, that must be true because they're my friend or my family and I love them and I believe them and trust them. So it's happening so doggone fast that one, it's more information than we could possibly take in. And two, it's also bumping up against our own belief systems, whether it's friend or somebody who's not a friend. So we're either aligning with the people that align with our beliefs or we're arguing with those that most of us wouldn't maybe call it arguing. Maybe we're just trying to share our side. Nonetheless, it creates this dichotomy of just constantly being fired and triggered in our nervous system that we're just reacting, right? We're not even slowing down long enough to pause to say, is this even true? And the speed of information doesn't give your nervous system time to recalibrate, right? Maybe you're somebody who pridefully says, oh, I don't even listen to the news. Okay. But if you're on any kind of social media platform at all, you're seeing stuff roll through your eyeballs. You have colleagues, you have coworkers, you have business associates, you have customers, you have family, you have friends. People are talking because their nervous system's dysregulated as well, right? So it just sits in this perpetual snowballing of hijacked nervous system. And sometimes it's hard to get off that roller coaster, right? It has to take a required conscious effort to realize, hey, I need to get off the ride for a minute. I need to recalibrate things. I need to reset things to decide if I really want to jump back on the roller coaster or not. But if we're not even taking that step, then we're just on the crazy wild ride, hoping that one day it slows down enough for you to get off. Fear spreads faster than facts when nervous systems are dysregulated. Which then brings us to the spiral. We kind of talked about that in the snowball effect just a second ago. Here's what spiraling actually is. It's your brain running repeated negative forecast without interruption. Yes, you see it in real time on social internet platforms. That's what the inside of our brains are going through. Yes, we see it on the screen visually, but it's also a mirroring of what's happening with inside your physical body. And because repetition trains the brain what to expect next, the forecast gets stronger, more certain, more catastrophic, more convincing. And then you might notice you're checking your phone more often. You're sleeping lighter, maybe having disrupted sleep throughout the night, feeling more irritable, snapping quicker. Not because you're unstable, because your predictions are. So let's talk about interrupting the forecast for a minute. You don't have to force better behavior. You give your brain better predictions. That might look like limiting exposure to constant alerts. Maybe that means turning the notifications off on your phone from all of your social sites. Maybe for a little period of time, you make it just act like a phone. Because how often are any of us getting phone calls these days, except for spam calls, and then just block those. But you know what I'm talking about. Limit some of your constant exposure to those alerts. We're so dialed into answering those notifications, checking those notifications. I'm guilty of that too, so I have to remind myself, get off the roller coaster. This isn't necessary. You know, unless you're expecting a really super important call or that, put your phone down. Turn the notifications off. I leave my phone on silent constantly, and I know that probably drives some of my family and friends crazy. On the other hand, those that know me know that my work requires that I not have my phone on me all the time. And I can't be in a session with somebody and have my phone ringing. So I just, rather than me worrying about turning it off, turning it on, whatever, I just leave the ringer off. I know how to get back to people. I know how to check my messages and text and all of that. Do the things that you need to do to help regulate your nervous system. Verify information before internalizing it. Oh my gosh, it's so easy. Some of these things, because you're already feeling on edge, and then you see something and immediately like, see, that's true. Take a second. It doesn't take very long to verify if things are actually real. A lot of times you can just tell by the languaging in a post or in an article that it's sensationalized. There's certain languaging and words that they use to make it seem even more intense, even more volatile, even more, important that you pay attention to it. Consider choosing one trusted source instead of 10 reactive ones. Right? A lot of times we keep telling our story to different people, hoping that it lands with somebody who says the thing that our inside needs to hear. But in the meantime, until we reach that one, we're telling other people who then are getting stirred, and then they might be stirring us even more. Have one source. Sometimes the best source is to just step away for a minute, take a breath, do a different action, and then decide, is it worth going and checking that thing out? Is it that important that I know whether or not that post or that tweet or whatever was put up there is true or not? How do I think that will impact my day today? Because it's so incredibly addictive to just keep following the threads, keep following the comments, keep looking for verification to justify what it is that you're feeling inside, rather than you regulating it yourself. Maybe it's turning off your phone an hour earlier than usual. Maybe it's in lieu of charging your phone and keeping it by your bedside, that you leave it charged in your kitchen or something overnight. It'll be okay. It really will be okay. It's got to be a choice that you make consciously, though. And I want you to ask yourself quietly, am I reacting to facts or forecast? Is anything actually wrong in this moment? Because many times, nothing is happening in your physical environment. Your body is reacting to imagined outcomes. That doesn't make you dramatic. It makes you human. But humans can retrain prediction loops. Let's talk about a hard truth. There's something else happening right now. Division. When nervous systems are activated, nuance disappears. When we feel unsafe, we polarize. It feels stabilizing to choose a side. It feels grounding to be certain. It feels powerful to react. But that power is short-lived. Regulation is quieter and stronger. As we begin to wrap up this week's episode, let me leave you with this. You can care deeply about what is happening in the world. You can stay informed. You can have strong opinions. You can pray. You can advocate. You can grieve. But you do not have to let breaking news control your physiology. If there is no immediate threat in your physical environment, your body deserves steadiness. Before you spiral, remember, your brain predicts first. So give it something steady to predict. Limit the noise. Anchor in what is true. Regulate before you read. Because division grows in dysregulation. But wisdom grows in steadiness. The world may feel loud, but you don't have to match its volume. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spreading this episode so that we can help reach others who may be feeling this right now in their body and could just use a little bit of support, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of remembrance of how to help calm themselves. Until next week, please know I send you so much
Thank you
love.
for joining us for another episode of the Getting Through the Week podcast with Dr. KellyRae. If you're looking to connect with her or schedule an appointment, here's how you can reach her. Follow her on Instagram at AskDrKellyRae. Check out her Facebook page at drkellyrae. Find her on TikTok at drkellyrae. Visit her website at drkellyrae.com. Or send her an email at drkellyrae@gmail.com. Until next week, Dr. KellyRae sends you so much love.